Hi, how you doing? My name is Sharon and I garden in Zone 3, East Central Saskatchewan. Now I thought I'd take you for a little walk down my garden path here. That's a rock garden that's going to be expanded, and it just flanks my greenhouse. So I spend a lot of time out here, and as I've mentioned before, I really like rock gardening. So this is the path. My mom used to live next door, and so this path used to lead over the bridge and to my mom's house. We don't use the path or the bridge anymore, although it's still there. And the rock garden starts at about this part. The lilacs in this area used to be huge. I had to cut one down completely because it was shading my greenhouse too much on the south side, and it was just every year I'd have to hack it back. So finally I decided to just get rid of it entirely, and that actually started the beginning of what is now going to be the rock garden. These two lilacs that are here now, and possibly this third one as well, which is pretty big. It's at least 7 feet right now. I'm going to cut these right down. I'm going to kill the roots, and then I'm going to mound rock, soil, and gravel over top of the root balls that are left to make kind of undulating mounds that will follow the rock garden, and I'll show you that in just a second, how that's going to marry up together. Some of the plants that I've come across for this year, this actually is this one right here is Dark Towers penstemon, and I just planted that this year. I have it flanked with a marble ajuga, and what I'm hoping is that some of these ajuga will take hold and winter, and it will become a ground cover along the way. I just don't know what's going to make it through the winter. This was, or is, not blooming now, but it was very nice, Veronica lightsaber. In the shady spots, I have some Virginia that I transplanted that will eventually take over there, I would think. Here we have salvia. This is the Color Spires series. It didn't bloom for me this year because I just got it, I think, in August, and this one is Indigo Girl. Back here, I forgot, this is another ajuga, and this one is black scallop. It's another marble and another black scallop. I think this might be a Rudbeckia. I'm just waiting to see if that's what it is before I decide it's a weed and pull it out. In here I have planted some New Millennium Delphinium. One got a little taller than I had hoped. It might have to, the second one in, might have to be moved, but the other two are a nice size. This is penstemon, or beard tongue, and it is onyx and opal, and oh my gosh, this is a beautiful plant. First of all, just take a look at those leaves. No grasshopper damage like many of the plants have this year. Glossy, beautiful, and the blooms, they rose to, between 3 and 4 feet. Just absolutely beautiful. I love that plant. And I planted this in 2023. So it has wintered one winter. It's doing extremely well, and I sure hope I don't lose it. In this area, I have, I tried my hand at some hypertufa pots a few years ago, and so I have them, a few scattered about here and there. I have a big grouping of Virginia, and on the other side of the path, there is a matching grouping. They will have to be thin next year again. And there's another hypertufa. This was another outstanding plant. This is salvia, and this one was is also the Color Spire series, and it's back to the fuchsia. This one, just outstanding. Pink blossoms, quite early in the year, actually. And God, I just loved it. And that also I planted in 2023. So it has already wintered once here in Zone 3, Saskatchewan. So I'm really hoping it will again. It has suffered some grasshopper damage, though. But it seems like a lot of stuff did this year. Down here, I have a sedum, and it's called Firecracker, and it's just starting to bloom now. I planted this in August as well. This ajuga I planted earlier in the year, and it is not, this one is Burgundy Glow, not marble, but yeah, Burgundy Glow, and I just love it, and look how much it's spread. You know, I may regret this at some point, but I really am wanting a lot of ground cover. I don't like to see a lot of empty soil. I tend to cover it with plants or straw or sand. As you can see, I'm just not a fan of unmulched soil. And then this is the rock garden proper, I guess. This is the mound. I think if I get down, probably could see it a little bit better, how it rises up. Oops. And underneath that mound, you can actually still see some of the stump from the lilac tree that was, or lilac bush that was under here. And so I covered it all up with rocks and soil, compost actually, rocks and compost and gravel and sand, sort of whatever I had. I kind of filled it in with that, and then I topped it with more rocks, made a sharp draining soil. Hopefully the plants will like it. I have had some losses in here already because I planted up a bunch last year. I lost all of the sea thrift, a few of the dianthus, and I planted 6 Lucia, and I only have 2 left. And they are actually, well, I shouldn't even say 2. It's like 1.5. There's one right there, and here is the other one. They both did bloom earlier in the year, but I don't know if they'll make it again. This is a creeping thyme. There's that yellow blooming sedum. This is another, this top one I think is Sedum kamchaticum. This one, if you need something that you want to winter above ground, like in a pot or uh, anywhere that is above ground, not on the ground. You know how our stuff usually in Saskatchewan won't winter above ground. This will. This is an amazing sedum. I think it may be used for uh, roofs, for succulent roofs. I think I read that once. And yeah, it's a really good plant. Over here I have another penstemon. I'm quite taken with the dark-leaved penstemon, and I think this one is Dark Towers, I think. It didn't bloom near as tall. I think I planted this also in 2023. It didn't bloom near as tall as the onyx and opal. Back in here I have several hens and chicks of various kinds. I have some creeping phlox in there. I have another dark sedum. Oh, the name just escapes me at the moment. Chocolate something. Chocolate ball stone crop. I don't like to see tags. Up here this year I left the tag so I could remember. I had a rock cress, and I found out really quite early in the year that the flea beetles absolutely love rock cress. So I used diatomaceous earth several times, um, and then it was okay throughout the summer. It did bloom, but then in late summer, the flea beetles came back and just decimated it. It and so I thought, well, I'm not going to fight this. I'm not much for babying plants too much, so I just pulled it, and I won't plant any more rock cress. I would suggest if you live in an area where you are bothered by flea beetles in the spring and fall, that it's not a good choice. I do have some dianthus that did live, and this one has also seeded out gently, so I have a few more. This is this one here is one of the proven winner tall salvias. This is Back in Black, I believe is what it's called, and it's supposed to be tall. I bought it in 2023. It struggled where I first planted it for maybe I planted it in 2022 because I think I've been trying to nurse it along for 2 years, and finally this year I moved it here, and it does seem to be doing a little bit better than where I had it previously. Back there, the yellow sunflowers, that's from Rudbeckia goldstrom, and I seeded that. I started it from seed probably 3 years ago. So I have it in a couple places in the yard. It's such a beautiful plant for this time of year. This echinacea is Bubblicious, I think. It's a nice one. I planted it in 2023, and it does have, it's a very nice, like a vibrant pink. I like that. I like that. Down here is a geranium, a hardy geranium that I'm hoping will be hardy to zone 3, and this is Boom Chocolata. It does get flowers, but I really do like the foliage. Like I said, I'm partial to dark foliage plants. I have some iris, early blooming iris. Actually, they're reblooming iris. I have them planted, 3 spots. They add a lot. I like the leaf structure as well. I think it's really cool. In here, right in front of the greenhouse, I have some oriental lilies, more iris. This echinacea, this poor thing that has been decimated by the grasshoppers. This is Sunseeker's Rainbow, and it changes color as it opens and then as it matures. Nice. I also have daylilies in here. And yeah, I guess that's about it. This part, as you can see, still has wood mulch, which I will be getting rid of as I develop this more. So as we walk along here, the plan is, this is the back of the greenhouse, so that gravel part on the at the back of the greenhouse, that will just incorporate. I'll take out that wood, and that will just incorporate into the rock garden. This lilac will be the next one to come out. I don't know if I'll work on them both at the same time, but I'll make another kind of mound out of that, and then it'll be mound, dip, and another mound, and another dip, and then just behind that penstemon will be another mound, and if I'm ambitious enough, there will be a third. The vegetable garden is just on the other side of this. Like I said, if I spend so much time in this area, either in my greenhouse or in the vegetable garden, it's probably where I spend the majority of my time. And so I do want to develop it into something that I really enjoy, instead of just bush. On this side of the rock garden, or of the path, on this side is Mohican viburnum. I think there's 5 planted here, and then an evergreen that I just planted there from, you know, a little seedling, and it really took off and is liking it there. And so the plan is to make it kind of like a spiral hedge where it will be low at the bottom and then spiral up toward the tallest at the back. That's sort of the plan. And then in front of the viburnum, it's the south side of the viburnum and also flanks the street there. This was a portable shelter that we were using for storage, and we've recently gotten rid of that. And so this used to be, prior to it being storage, it was lawn, but it will not go back to lawn. Now I'm going to develop it into something, and I just don't know yet. I've been thinking about planting this as like a mini orchard, mostly with haskap berries, because I really do like the haskaps. And so I thought, you know, I could fit a few more in here and in rows, and I would be able to probably cover it all fairly easily to protect it from the birds. But this is also a work in progress. These will be some projects that I will at least start next year. And for sure, I will get started on the first lilac, cutting it down and using some weed killer to try and get rid of all the stumps, and then covering it all. Then on the other side of the rock garden, south of the greenhouse, there is this area. This area, the area that we built our house, right over there on that green spot, that was actually where my great-grandparents had a house at one time. And a few years after that, my grandmother lived here. This is the foundation, the concrete that you see, that's the foundation footings of her little house. Where the daylilies are planted was her bed. And this was, you know, where the front door was, and the kitchen table, the kitchen, the mound that's over here, that was a chimney sweep. So where that evergreen is, that was another bedroom, and the living room is just all covered by dogwood. And so it kind of, the rock garden just kind of merges into this. I always did have crushed rock in here, so it's kind of a seamless transition, which I like. Back under the maple there, where the red chairs are, that also is covered by crushed rock on the bottom, which has been there for, 25 years or so. I covered it, you know, shortly after we moved in, and built the house here. So, yeah, that's actually a pretty good fix for underneath a maple tree. It does get leaves, but they blow off. So that's it. That's the rock garden, plans for the rock garden, a little bit of history about the yard. I should have mentioned that where the temporary shelter was owned by my Uncle Harry, so that's going to be known as Uncle Harry's garden. And my grandmother, in Polish, we called her Babcia, and where I'm standing now, we call that Babcia's garden. Thanks for watching the video today. I really do appreciate it. If you care to subscribe, I appreciate that as well. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. See you again.